Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening.
Jack maneuvered the controls of his spacecraft, the Nebula Wanderer, with the ease of an expert pilot. He glanced at his companion, Marcus, who was busy scanning the readouts on the dashboard. Their mission was to survey uncharted planets on the fringe of the Andromeda sector. "Anything interesting, Marcus?" Jack asked, his eyes still focused on the vast expanse of stars ahead. "Just the usual dust and gas," Marcus replied, slightly disappointed. "Wait, hang on. There's a weird energy spike coming from that moon." He pointed to a small, unremarkable celestial body orbiting a giant gas planet. Jack's interest peaked. "Define weird." "It's unlike anything we've recorded before. The readings they're fluctuating wildly," Marcus said, frowning as he adjusted the sensors to get a clearer picture. Jack made a swift decision. "Let's take a closer look. Maybe we've hit the jackpot this time." The two men prepared their gear as the ship descended towards the moon. The surface was rocky and barren, illuminated by the eerie light of the gas giant. As they landed, the ground beneath them shimmered with an unnatural glow. "See that?" Jack pointed to a structure protruding from the ground, its surface smooth and metallic, incongruous with the surrounding landscape. "Yeah, doesn't look natural." "Let's check it out," Marcus suggested, grabbing his equipment. They approached the structure cautiously. It was an obelisk, covered in symbols that pulsated with light. Jack reached out, driven by curiosity, and touched the surface. The moment his fingers made contact, the symbols glowed brightly, and a beam of light shot into the sky. "What the?" Marcus exclaimed, stepping back. The light intensified, and suddenly, with a flash, a figure appeared before them. It was a woman, ethereal in appearance, with luminescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the depth of the universe. She looked around, bewildered. "Where am I?" Her voice was melodious, yet filled with confusion. Jack, equally stunned, took a moment to respond. "You're on a moon in the Andromeda sector. I'm Jack, and this is Marcus. We're explorers." The woman observed them intently. "I am Seraphina. I was at the Temple of Ascension on my world. How did I come to be here?" Marcus looked at Jack. "The obelisk. Jack, did you activate something?" Jack shrugged, still processing the situation. "I just touched it. I didn't expect a person to appear out of thin air." Seraphina stepped forward, her gaze fixed on the obelisk. "This is a relic of the ancients. It's meant to be a bridge for the ascended. It seems you have accidentally triggered it." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "A bridge? So, how do we send you back?" "That's the problem," Seraphina said, her voice tinged with concern. "It's not meant for reverse travel." Jack and Marcus exchanged worried glances. Bringing an alien being to Earth could cause unprecedented complications. "Looks like you're stuck with us for now," Jack said, trying to lighten the mood. "We'll figure something out. For now, let's get you to our ship. It's not safe out here." As they walked back to the Nebula Wanderer, Jack couldn't help but feel that this accidental encounter might just be the beginning of something extraordinary. Inside the cramped confines of the Nebula Wanderer, Seraphina seemed to shimmer slightly with each move, a soft luminescence radiating from her skin. Jack led her through the corridors to the ship's common area, where Marcus had already started brewing coffee. "Here we are, our little lounge. Make yourself comfortable," Jack said, motioning towards a padded bench. Seraphina sat down cautiously, her eyes scanning everything with keen interest. "Your technology is quite advanced, but different from ours." Marcus handed her a mug of coffee, his curiosity evident. "You keep mentioning ours. Can you tell us more about where you come from?" Seraphina held the mug, feeling the warmth but not drinking. "I hail from Celestis. It's a world not unlike your descriptions of Earth, but our technologies harness energies you might consider mystical." Jack sat across from her, intrigued. "Energies like the one that brought you here?" "Exactly," she nodded. "We have learned to manipulate these energies, allowing us to achieve what you might call miracles." Marcus, always the skeptic, chuckled lightly. "Miracles, huh? I'd love to see one of those." Perhaps sensing a challenge, Seraphina placed her hand over the mug, and with a faint glow, the coffee began to stir on its own, swirling rapidly. We call it minor manipulation. It's a basic skill among my people. That's impressive, Jack admitted, his mind racing with the implications of her abilities. Changing the subject, Serafina looked towards the cockpit. Could you show me how you navigate the stars? I'm curious how your methods compare to ours. Jack was more than willing to share. Sure, let's head to the bridge. As they walked, Marcus stayed behind, whispering to Jack, keep an eye on her. We don't know what she's capable of. On the bridge, Jack demonstrated the ship's navigation system, pointing out the star maps and the interface they used to travel through hyperspace. Serafina absorbed every detail, her understanding quick. This relies on artificial computation, she observed. We use natural wave flows and energy currents. It's more harmonious with the cosmos. Jack found her descriptions almost poetic. Sounds like you ride the waves of the universe. Precisely, Serafina smiled. It's about balance and flow, not just mechanics and calculations. The lesson was interrupted by a beep from the console. Jack checked the readings. Looks like we're approaching a trading station. We need to resupply. How about you join us? Might be good to stretch your legs. See a bit more of our world. Serafina agreed, intrigued by the prospect of seeing more human technology in action. At the trading station, a hub bustling with various species and traders, Jack and Marcus kept close to Serafina, both protective and cautious. They led her through the crowds, pointing out different alien technologies and goods. Serafina was a quick study, asking insightful questions and even discussing potential improvements with a few vendors who looked at her with a mix of surprise and appreciation. Back on the ship, after their excursion, Serafina seemed more at ease, the initial shock of her situation giving way to a thoughtful acceptance. Your world, this galaxy, it's so vibrant, so full of life and potential. I can see why you explore. Jack smiled, feeling a strange sense of pride. We do our best. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. As they returned to the common area, Marcus handed her another mug of coffee, this time with a smile. No tricks this time. Just coffee. Serafina accepted it, her smile matching his. Thank you, Marcus. And thank you, Jack, for showing me your world. The day's events had built a bridge of understanding among them, a mutual respect that transcended their origins. As they sat together, sharing stories and laughter, the vastness of space felt a little less daunting. Jack, Marcus, and Serafina gathered around the holographic map in the control room, plotting their course back to Earth. The atmosphere was thick with a mix of excitement and apprehension. So, what's the plan when we get back? Marcus asked, his voice betraying a hint of concern. We can't just stroll into NASA with an alien angel in tow. Serafina's eyes widened at the mention of NASA. What is this? NASA? Jack chuckled. It's our space agency. Basically the people who would either be really excited or really terrified to meet you. The implications of their return were becoming increasingly complicated. Jack drummed his fingers on the console, deep in thought. We need to come up with a story. Something believable. Marcus leaned against the wall, folding his arms. Believable? Jack. She materialized out of thin air thanks to some ancient alien tech. What part of that is going to sound believable? Serafina interjected. Perhaps there is a way I can remain undetected. A form of concealment through my abilities. Jack considered this. That could work while we figure out our next move. But we'll need supplies and a safe place to lay low. I know a guy, Marcus said suddenly. An old friend who's now running a private research facility. He's always been open to unconventional science. Maybe he can help. Does he keep things confidential? Jack asked. As a tomb, Marcus confirmed with a nod. Jack looked to Serafina. Are you okay with this? We want to make sure you're safe and that we don't cause any panic. Serafina nodded gracefully. I trust your judgment. I am, after all, quite out of my element here. Jack made the arrangements, and within a few hours, they were docking at a secluded private research station on the outskirts of Nevada. The facility was nondescript, the kind of place one could easily overlook, which was exactly the point. As they disembarked, a man in his late 40s greeted them. He was rugged, with a beard peppered gray and eyes that seemed to miss nothing. "Marcus, and friends, I presume. Welcome to my humble abode," he said with a warm grin. "Thanks, Leo," Marcus replied, clapping the man on the back. "This is Jack, and this is Serafina." Leo's eyes widened slightly at Serafina, but he masked his surprise quickly. "Pleasure to meet you both. Come on in. We've got plenty of room and even more curiosity." Inside, Leo showed them to a set of rooms where they could settle in. "So, what's the story?" Leo asked once they were all seated in his office, which was filled with gadgets and screens displaying various data streams. Jack explained their situation, carefully watching Leo's reactions, which ranged from incredulity to fascination. "So, you accidentally kidnapped an alien who can manipulate energies, and now you need a place to hide her until you can figure out what to do?" "Pretty much," Jack confirmed. Leo rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "Well, you came to the right place. I've got tech here that can help mask energy signatures and more. We'll keep her safe. I am capable of manipulating my energy to remain hidden, but I would appreciate understanding more about your technology," Serafina added, eager to learn. "Excellent," Leo said, clearly excited by the prospect. "Let's give you a tour of the lab tomorrow. You can see what we're working on and maybe give us some insights into your technology as well." As the night wore on, the men discussed various aspects of human and alien technology, occasionally pulling Serafina into the conversation to explain her people's advancements. It was a night filled with learning and planning, a necessary pause in their unexpected journey. Jack felt a sense of camaraderie building between them, a shared mission that transcended their differences. They were in this together, and for the first time since the adventure began, he felt they might just pull it off. The next morning, after a hearty breakfast prepared by Leo, the group gathered in the main lab. The air was filled with the hum of machines and the soft clinking of tools. Leo led Serafina around, showcasing his inventions and experimental setups. "So, this is where the magic happens," Leo quipped, pointing to a large, intricate device covered in dials and screens. Serafina examined it closely. "We use similar devices, but ours are tuned to harmonize with natural energies rather than manipulate them. This could be adjusted to be less invasive and more efficient." Leo raised an eyebrow, impressed. "I'd love to get your insights on that. Maybe you could show me some of your methods?" "I would be pleased to," she replied, her face lighting up with the excitement of shared knowledge. Jack and Marcus watched from a distance, their conversation turning to more personal reflections. "It's strange, isn't it? How quickly things have changed since we met her," Jack mused, watching Serafina and Leo discuss technical adjustments. Marcus nodded. "Yeah, it feels like we're suddenly part of something much bigger. Makes you wonder what else is out there." "The universe is full of surprises," Jack said, his gaze drifting back to the monitors displaying star maps. Their conversation was interrupted by Leo's excited voice calling them over. "Hey, you two, come check this out." They approached a workstation where Leo and Serafina were adjusting settings on a simulation. Serafina suggested a new pattern for energy flow based on her world's tech. "It's already improving efficiency by 20%. "That's incredible," Marcus said, peering over the screen. "Imagine what we could learn if we could actually visit her planet." Jack chuckled. "One step at a time, Marcus." As the day progressed, the group split tasks. Jack and Leo worked on integrating some of Serafina's suggestions into the lab's main systems, while Marcus and Serafina discussed the principles of her people's energy use. "You know, it's fascinating," Marcus said as they worked. "Your approach combines science with something almost spiritual." Serafina smiled, looking pleased. "Yes, we believe that technology should exist in harmony with the universe, not dominate it. Each device we create is part of a greater whole." "That's a philosophy I think we could learn a lot from," Marcus admitted, making notes on a digital pad. By the end of the day, they had made significant progress. The lab's main energy grid was running smoother than ever, thanks to the hybrid techniques they implemented. Gathering in the lounge area, Leo brought out some drinks to celebrate their accomplishments. To new friends and new technologies, he toasted. "Cheers," they all echoed, clinking glasses. As they relaxed, Jack turned to Serafina. "How are you feeling about all this?" "It's a lot to take in." Serafina took a thoughtful sip of her drink. I am amazed at how welcoming you have been. Despite the accidental nature of our meeting, I feel quite fortunate. Jack smiled. We're the fortunate ones. It's not every day you get to meet someone from another world. The conversation drifted to stories of their respective planets. Serafina described some of the natural wonders of Celestis, which captivated her audience. It sounds beautiful, Leo said, genuinely moved. It's a reminder that the universe holds infinite variations of beauty and complexity. The day wound down with plans to further enhance the lab's capabilities, inspired by the blend of human ingenuity and alien wisdom. The camaraderie between the group was palpable, each member feeling part of a groundbreaking endeavor that was just beginning. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the Nevada desert surrounding Leo's research facility. Inside, the atmosphere was charged with a different kind of energy, one of intellectual curiosity mixed with unspoken emotional currents. Jack, Marcus, Leo, and Serafina were seated around a large, cluttered table in the common area, deep into a strategy session about how to present their findings without causing a stir. So, if we keep the energy signature readings under wraps for now, we might avoid drawing too much attention, Leo suggested, tapping a pen against his notepad. Marcus nodded in agreement. Right, we keep it technical. Focus on the efficiency improvements without diving too deep into how we achieve them. At least until we know more about the potential repercussions. Jack looked over at Serafina, who was quietly observing the conversation. Serafina, you've been quiet. What do you think? We're trying to protect your privacy as much as anything. She offered a small smile. I appreciate your discretion. It's strange to think that my very existence could cause such commotion. The discussion continued, with each man weighing in on different aspects of the plan. They debated each point meticulously, sometimes doubling back to refine their thoughts. The intensity of the discussion mirrored the importance of their task, yet beneath the surface, another tension simmered. Unacknowledged feelings that had started to form, especially between Jack and Serafina. As the meeting adjourned, Leo stood up, stretching his arms. Well, I think that's enough for tonight. How about some dinner? I can grill us something up. Sounds good, Marcus replied, but he caught Jack's gaze lingering on Serafina. You guys coming? In a minute, Jack said, indicating they would follow soon. Once the others had left, Jack turned to Serafina. Hey, are you really okay with all of this? It's a lot to take in, and I know it's not just about the tech. Serafina's gaze met his, her eyes reflecting the soft, overhead light. It is overwhelming at times, but I feel safe, surprisingly. And it's largely thanks to you. Jack's heart fluttered slightly at the admission. I'm glad. I just want to make sure we're not making things harder for you. Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of laughter and the clattering of utensils from the kitchen. We should probably join the others, Jack suggested, though he hesitated, reluctant to end their moment of quiet understanding. Dinner was a lively affair with Leo recounting tales from his early days of research, which were often humorous and filled with unexpected twists. Serafina listened with genuine interest, her laughter mingling with the others. Yet, the meal did little to dissipate the growing attraction between her and Jack, their exchanges laden with deeper, unspoken thoughts. After cleaning up, the group migrated to the lounge. Leo brought out a vintage guitar, strumming softly, the music filling the room with a melancholic tune. Marcus joined in with a harmonica he found tucked away in a drawer. Music is a universal language, Serafina remarked, watching the informal jam session with fascination. Jack, sitting next to her on the couch, nodded. It's one of the things that always brings people together, no matter where they're from. As the evening wore on, the others gradually excused themselves, leaving Jack and Serafina alone. The remnants of the day's tension seemed to dissolve, replaced by a more intimate atmosphere. Jack, can I ask you something? Serafina's voice was soft, almost hesitant. Of course, Jack responded, turning to face her more directly. What is it like to feel human emotions so deeply? Back home, we are taught to maintain balance, to not let feelings dictate our actions. Jack considered her question. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's painful, other times it's exhilarating. but it makes life vivid, real. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Serafina reached out, her hand lightly touching his. I think I'm beginning to understand that. Their eyes met, and in that moment, a mutual recognition of their connection was silently acknowledged. Though neither spoke of it, both felt the profound impact of their growing bond. A human and an alien, exploring not just the mysteries of the universe, but also the complexities of the heart. The calm night outside Leo's facility belied the complex emotions swirling inside. Jack and Serafina sat in the lounge, each lost in thought after their heartfelt conversation. The room was quiet, save for the distant hum of the desert wind. Jack finally broke the silence. Serafina, there's something I need to say. These past days, getting to know you, it's changed the way I see everything. Serafina turned to face him, her expression serene yet curious. And what is it that you see now? Jack hesitated, choosing his words carefully. I see a future I hadn't imagined before. A future where perhaps two very different beings might find common ground, not just in science, but in, he trailed off, unsure how to finish. Serafina smiled gently, her hand reaching out to rest lightly on his. Jack, I too feel this connection. It is unlike anything I have known. It is unsettling, yet invigorating. Their eyes locked, and for a moment, the rest of the world seemed to fade away. The connection between them, tenuous at first, had woven itself into something undeniable. Jack leaned closer, his voice barely above a whisper. May I? Serafina nodded, her breath catching slightly. Gently, Jack brushed his lips against hers, the kiss tentative at first, then deepening as they both responded to the burgeoning desire that had been building between them. It was a kiss that spoke of wonder and exploration, of barriers not just crossed but dissolved. When they finally pulled apart, the look they shared was one of mutual realization. This is new for me, Serafina breathed, her cheeks flushed with a luminescence that seemed to pulse with her quickening heartbeat. For me too, Jack admitted, his voice rough with emotion. But it feels right, doesn't it? It does, she whispered back, leaning into his embrace. The night deepened around them, filled now with an electric charge. They moved together, exploring each other's expressions of affection, their kisses interspersed with laughter and soft conversations about hopes, dreams, and the possibilities of a shared future. Jack's hands were respectful yet confident as they traced the contours of Serafina's face, shoulders, and back. Her touches in return were filled with curiosity and tenderness, learning the texture and response of human skin. After a long while, they settled into a comfortable silence, simply holding each other, the earlier tension replaced by a profound closeness. Outside, the stars shone brightly, the vast cosmos witnessing this rare union of two souls from distant worlds. As dawn approached, Jack spoke softly, "We should probably get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be another big day." Serafina nodded, standing reluctantly. "Yes, tomorrow we face new challenges." They walked together to her room, their hands linked, each step echoing lightly in the quiet hallway. At her door, they paused, neither wanting to say goodnight. "Jack," Serafina said as she stood in the doorway, "thank you for being so kind, so understanding." Jack smiled, his hand caressing her cheek. "Thank you, Serafina, for trusting me, for this incredible journey." With another gentle kiss, they said goodnight, each entering their separate rooms filled with a sense of wonder and a whisper of something yet to come. A promise of more to explore, not just about each other, but within themselves. The morning brought with it a sharp clarity. As Jack and Serafina emerged from their rooms, they were greeted by Marcus and Leo in the common area, who immediately sensed the subtle change in their demeanor. Marcus, brewing coffee, raised an eyebrow as they entered. "Morning, you two look well-rested. Anything new we should know about?" Jack exchanged a glance with Serafina before replying. "We've been discussing potential new strategies for integrating Serafina's technology without causing a stir. It's been productive." Leo chuckled, handing them both a mug of coffee. "Well, I'm glad to hear the collaboration is going so well. But we might have a bigger problem on our hands." "What's up?" Jack asked, sensing the seriousness in Leo's tone. We're picking up unusual signals outside. It looks like someone might be onto us. Could be government, could be someone else. We need to prepare for visitors, Leo explained, his expression taut with concern. The group quickly moved into action. Marcus started monitoring the incoming signals more closely while Leo and Jack discussed potential ways to camouflage the facility's more sensitive areas. Serafina, who had been quiet, spoke up. Is there a way I can help? Perhaps I can assist in masking our energy signatures. My presence should not bring you danger. That's a good start, Leo nodded. Let's get to the lab and set up a dampening field with your help. Marcus, keep an eye on those signals and let us know if they get any closer. As they worked, the tension was palpable. Serafina and Jack worked closely together, configuring the equipment to generate a low-level energy field that would obscure any non-conventional signatures from the lab. Marcus called from the monitoring station. Looks like we've got company. A couple of black SUVs just turned onto the service road. Maybe 10 minutes out. Damn, that's faster than I hoped, Leo muttered. All right, everyone, let's finish up here and act natural. We'll meet them as if we're just doing routine research. Jack, Serafina, maybe you two should hang back initially. Jack nodded, but Serafina looked resolute. I will not hide while you face risks for me. I want to stand with you. After a brief discussion, it was agreed that she would stay out of sight initially but would join if things seemed to escalate. The vehicles arrived, and a group of men and women dressed in black tactical gear stepped out, moving towards the facility with an air of authority. Leo, Marcus, and Jack went out to greet them, maintaining calm exteriors. Good morning, Leo started, extending his hand. Can we help you? The lead agent, a stern woman with sharp eyes, didn't take his hand. We're here to inspect this facility. We have reason to believe you're conducting unauthorized research. Leo feigned confusion. I think there's been a misunderstanding. We're a private research facility, working within all regulatory frameworks. You're welcome to look around. As the agents spread out to conduct their inspection, Jack stayed close to the lead agent, trying to gauge how much they knew. Serafina watched anxiously from a distance, ready to intervene if necessary. The inspection went on for over an hour. Finally, the lead agent approached Jack again. Everything seems to be in order here. Sorry for the inconvenience. Jack let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. No problem at all. We understand these are sensitive times. As the agents left, the group congregated in the lab, the relief palpable but the reality of their situation clearer than ever. We need to be more careful, Marcus said. It's only going to get harder from here. Jack turned to Serafina, his voice soft. Are you okay? Serafina nodded, her spirit undampened. Yes, I am. Today showed me the strength of your loyalty, and it reaffirms my hope that together we can navigate this. The group agreed to increase their security measures and to continue their work with even greater caution. The close call had strengthened their resolve, and their unity felt deeper than ever. They were not just a team now. They were comrades, bonded by a shared secret and a common purpose. The morning light streamed through the lab's windows, casting long shadows across the room where Jack, Marcus, Leo, and Serafina were gathered for a crucial meeting. So, we managed to dodge a bullet yesterday, but that won't be the last time we face scrutiny, Leo started, pacing slightly. We need a solid plan moving forward. Jack nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. We need to think about how we can present Serafina and her technology in a way that doesn't cause a panic or attract the wrong kind of attention. Marcus chimed in, tapping away at his tablet. What if we framed it as a discovery? Say we found evidence of extraterrestrial life, but in a controlled manner, like a signal we decoded or something indirect. That might work, Leo agreed. It gives us a buffer and doesn't throw Serafina directly into the spotlight. Serafina herself looked thoughtful. I appreciate your efforts to protect me and my privacy. However, I do not want to be a source of fear or misunderstanding. Perhaps I can prepare some form of communication, something that can explain who I am and why I am here in my own words. That's a good idea, Jack said, appreciative of her courage. Your voice should be the first one they hear. It's honest and direct. They spent the next few hours crafting a message, blending Serafina's eloquent explanation of her origins with a scientifically sound narrative prepared by Leo and Marcus. They planned to release the message strategically, coordinating with a trusted contact at a major broadcasting network. As they worked, the cohesion and camaraderie among them solidified further. They were no longer just colleagues. They had become comrades, united by a common goal. Finally, with their preparations complete, they gathered around the broadcast equipment Leo had set up in the lab. Serafina looked over the message once more, then nodded to Jack, who offered her an encouraging smile. "It's time," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Leo hit the broadcast button, and Serafina began to speak, her words flowing gracefully into the camera, destined to reach millions. "People of Earth, my name is Serafina. I come from a world not unlike your own, in a galaxy that has watched and waited for the right moment to reveal itself. I did not come here by choice, but by a twist of fate that has shown me the beauty of your world and the kindness of your people." Her message was clear and heartfelt, discussing her accidental arrival, the technology of her people, and extending an offer of peace and shared knowledge. As the broadcast ended, the group looked at each other, aware they had crossed a point of no return. "Now we wait," Marcus said, his voice a mix of hope and anxiety. The response was overwhelming. Within hours, Serafina's message was the leading story worldwide. Debates sprang up on every major network, and while there was fear and skepticism, there was also awe and wonder. Over the next few days, they received communications from all corners of the globe, from scientists eager to learn to ordinary people moved by Serafina's words. One evening, as they watched the sunset, Serafina turned to Jack. "No matter what comes next, I am grateful for what we have achieved here together." Jack took her hand, his heart full. "The universe really brought us together for a reason, didn't it?" "It did," she agreed, smiling. In the end, the unity and understanding they forged in that remote lab became a symbol of what humanity could achieve when confronted with the unknown. Their experiences had not only bridged two worlds, but had also paved the way for a new chapter in human history. The resolution was not just about avoiding conflict or managing fear. It was about embracing the possibilities that lay in the vast, uncharted stretches of the cosmos. Together,